Now, let me put some more information on the right hand side of the page. I can go ahead and do more guidelines. So a 1/2 inch guideline against the spine, 1/2 inch guideline against, Control Z. Control Z. I probably want to be on this artboard first. Okay, if you're going to draw on this artboard, try to activate the artboard. The guideline, I guess it doesn't really matter. What I should have done was create my own guideline layers so that I could put all the guidelines in there, but that's kind of I guess I'm being lazy right now. So at least I'm keeping it in this original first image 1 layer. So I'm going to set the guideline so that I set my margins, my borders, and this one, the horizontal one's already set, and I could go halfway or I could go in thirds. I'm gonna try to make a 4-column layout, so at about 5.5. No, that's not 5.5. That's 5.5. One, 2, 3.5. 1, 2, 3.5, somewhere right there. I don't know if I really need that, but kind of rules of third again, rules of half. We'll kind of mess with that a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to start to put in other drawings. And I'm going to select this house, Montecito House 9, because it is the roof or the site plan. So I'm going to place this into this layer right here. I'm sorry, this artboard right here. For that, I am going to make a new layer. Make a new layer and call it site plan or something. Oh, come on, site plan. While I'm here, I'm going to try to place one of these elevations in there as well, so I'm just going to right now make another layer called elevation. Okay. So get myself in the site plan layer and then drop or place my site plan in that layer. Okay, and there it is. So this image again is a little bit too big for what I need. Right there. So again, if I had planned this correctly, I would probably have made this correction in Photoshop so that I don't have to do this here. But since I didn't, I'll shrink this down a little bit so that, let's see, that's the property line. That's the property line back there, but all the images are here anyway, so I'm going to shrink this down a little bit more so that at least the main part of the whatchamacallit, the topo is showing across this line. Okay. What's good about this image is that I already have a north arrow and a scale. The north arrow, maybe not so important. I could probably have just drawn this in Illustrator. That way it'll show up at the nice round figure size, maybe 1/4 inch, maybe 1/2 inch or whatever that the north arrow circle should be. But the graphic scale, that is determined by how much you shrink this image, right? So you probably want to kind of sort of match this graphic scale with this drawing while you are shrinking everything together. In a portfolio, you will most likely not place a drawing as a scale drawing. You probably won't put it in as a 1/4 inch scale. You probably won't put it in as an 1/8 inch scale, 16 inch scale, whatever. If you can, that's great, okay? But most likely you don't have to. Most of the times the size of the paper and the image doesn't quite work out so that it fills enough of the page when it'll fill too much or too little of the page if you have it to an architectural or an engineering scale. So most of the time we kind of shrink it down to where it fits onto the sheet of paper. But like I said, if you can fit it with the scale, that's probably the best deal. But the thing is, when you print it out, the printing might be off a little bit, the scale, they might shrink it a little bit, so that scale is going to go off anyway. So the idea is for a portfolio to have a graphic scale instead of a written scale that's 1/8 inch equals 1 foot or whatever, right? Okay, so that is that right there. So I place that in, and now I'm going to drop in the elevation as well. So file, place, elevation is, wonder which one's good. I think it might be this one. So place, and since that elevation matches with that view, that's even better. Okay, so shrink this thing up. Whoops. So the idea is to get these in exactly the same size. So for that, I'm going to take the front wall, which is aligns with that, and maybe the roof or the roof of the garage, roof of the guest house lines up there. So if I could shrink this thing so that this part lines up with that part lines up with that part, that'll probably be the best situation. Maybe just a little bit more. Okay, so now the site plan and the elevation drawing are at the same scale. Bring that down. So now all I have to do is use this scale for both drawings. And so this part is also about alignment, right? So this part aligns with that wall right there. This roof of the house lines up with that roof of the house. Roof of the house lines up there, and so on and so on. So everything aligns, and that's what we want to do for your presentation. Okay, so I don't exactly know where to put this thing just yet, so I'm just going to leave it right there. All right.